Missions, missionary, missional. These are words with confusing and sometimes conflicting meaning. Some consider missions a job, some go further to say it is a calling. The Great Commission makes it clear that missions is a command, but all too often this command just becomes one more task that we have to carry out to prove our Christianity. Missions is all of these and none of these. As a Christian, missions is my identity. It's my DNA. It is who I am. It's how I live. A lifestyle of missions is the only possible choice. For the church, this mission process started in Jerusalem. As early Christians lead a mission-oriented lifestyle, they naturally carry the gospel to new people as they work and live. As they move from Judea to Samaria, they live a life that makes disciples. As their trade takes them to Rome, they naturally carry the gospel as well. After many years, people migrate to Europe and United States, and the faith that they carry with them finds fertile soil and makes deep roots. These Christians come together to build strong churches in the West. As it becomes strong and established, the Western Church rightly begins to look outside of its borders for people who have not yet heard of the gospel. Individual Christians from the Western Church take the Word of God and the gospel contains to many foreign lands and share it in many new tongues. A torrent of people, money, and ideas flow from the West into these unreached areas. Small churches begin to spring up throughout these foreign lands. This process goes on for many years until missionaries start to sense a change on the horizon. The strength of the churches in these new areas is growing, and like the Western Church, these new churches sense the need to look outside of their walls as well. A new mission model is birthed to address this. This new model is an interactive triangle of the local church working with local businesses to reach the lost. The Western Church is pouring people, money, and encouragement into this structure to set it in motion. Even as the large established church of the West begins to decay, these indigenous mission triangles of local missionary, local business, and unreached individual keep spinning and planting new churches in these previously unreached areas. The once small churches in these areas grow into larger churches and begin to fully embrace their responsibility to share the gospel with their own people. Even as the Western Church falls into disarray, it still keeps sending people and money to these growing churches in other lands. As these new churches in Asia, Africa, and South America keep growing and progressing, they begin to look a lot like their counterparts in the West. They have substantial size and they are well funded. On Sunday morning, there is a pastor who leads the congregation in a dedicated worship facility. They reach the community through an established ministry structure. Like many churches before them, as they develop and grow strong, a missionary zeal arises within the hearts of the individuals and begins to permeate the heart of the church. The new churches no longer need money and people from the West. They are healthy and established bodies of Christ. What these churches needed is a facilitator. They need fresh ideas. They need a mentor. This is the role that the West now plays. The West should now turn their attention to the new unreached within their own borders. churches of the U.S. and Europe are situated within a biblically illiterate population with little knowledge of the true gospel. The mission field has come home. The Western Church must rebuild by taking responsibility for reaching the lost within its borders.